Hey guys, it's Campbell here. Today we are going to be talking about how to make an award-winning engineering and design notebook. I won't be going in depth on the criteria used by judges in the rubric. We will simply be talking about important visual aspects as well as content in the notebook. So what is an engineering notebook? If you're unfamiliar, an engineering and design notebook is an important document which is used in many industries to describe topics ranging from laboratory procedures, chemical processes and research, or in our case, building a robot. In competition robotics, a design notebook is a documentation of the full process of addressing challenges presented in the game. It uses a combination of visual tools such as images, graphs, diagrams, and text to describe the challenges and the presented solutions. In many competitions, such as V5RC, this document serves as a tool for your judges to determine what teams seem worthy of an interview and award. Now you may be wondering, why is a design notebook important? Well, these notebooks can help you organize the problems and challenges presented to you all in one place. With your logs, they can serve as a guide for your build process, and they serve as an outlet to document all aspects of your robot design, such as programming, testing, and rebuilding. And of course, they show judges how you address challenges. So how do we make an award-winning notebook? One of the most important aspects of a good notebook is the combination of images and text on every page. Whether you are simply introducing your team, writing about your code, or documenting your build process, there should be both text and visual elements on each page. These visual aspects should be eye-catching. They are what the judges will look at before anything else. They spark interest in your design. You also need to make sure that you're using different types of visual representations. Use photos, graphs, tables, diagrams, and sketches. Each page doesn't need to have every single one of these, but each page should have at least one of these. And don't overuse different visual pieces. Make sure that if you're using a graph or a table, the information you're presenting makes sense in that format. For example, don't use a line graph when you're trying to show pros and cons of different mechanisms. Use a table. And every single page should have a title. This title should be big, it should be colorful, it should be readable, and it should describe the contents of the page it's on. You may want to color code your titles somehow, but what's important is that they are eye-catching and descriptive. If the title says base design, the page shouldn't be about building an intake. It shouldn't be about testing the base. It should be about designing the base, or the importance of having this particular design. Always remember that color is key. Color is what catches the judge's eyes. It makes your notebook prettier. It should highlight the most important information on a page. Color should be used in titles, headings, subheadings, when highlighting key points, or used in pictures. Using different colors to highlight distinct but important pieces of information is important. For example, a section on strategy, such as in the image to the right, is highlighted in a different color as a heading for a section on improvements to the robot. Also make sure you're using bright colors: red, green, yellow, orange, blue, purple. Don't highlight something in brown. Don't highlight something in gray. Don't highlight something in vomit green. Use bright colors. And another very important aspect of your notebook should be that, above everything else, it conveys information clearly. If you have to sacrifice beauty or accuracy for the sake of information, do it. For example, in the images on the screen, the graph to the left. The numbers on this graph may or may not be the most precise or accurate. What's important is that the person reading my notebook can tell that what we are expecting is different from what we are observing. In these base sketches in the middle, they clearly don't look like C-channels or omni wheels or motors, but you can tell what they are, partially because of the descriptors on the page, and partially because the page is about different base designs. In the catapult drawing at the bottom right, it's not even close to an accurate sketch of a catapult, but you can tell what the idea for the mechanism is. So don't be afraid to sacrifice just a bit of accuracy or prettiness for the sake of making it clear what you mean. This isn't to say make everything super ugly as long as it's clear. Being pretty can help the person reading figure out what they're looking at, so use your best judgment. And finally, here are some things to avoid. Don't use pencil in your notebook. I get that you can erase pencil, you want to make mistakes. Pencil does not look good. Pencil is easily smudged. If you're worried about making mistakes, write lightly in pencil and then write over it in pen. Or write out what you want to say in a Google Doc and then copy it in pen from the doc to your notebook. Avoid not using images or color. Your notebook will be dull and boring and judges won't want to read it, and frankly, you won't even want to read it, even though it's your own notebook. Avoid using too many words. Pages after pages of paragraphs is boring. Avoid using too many pictures. If 95% of a page is images, you have done something wrong. You need to describe. Don't put in images that serve no purpose, or that you don't reference, or that you don't ever describe. Don't use images or diagrams that are vague or confusing. Avoid not putting code in your notebook. So many teams fail to document their programming, which disqualifies them from several awards. Don't let it happen to you. Make sure you are including testing. Test your base, test your intake, test your ARM, test your autonomous, test everything. And of course, don't fall too far behind. You should try to work on your notebook every day, or at least have your notebook caught up to where you are by the end of the week. When you forget your notebook, or you put it off over and over because you want to focus on the build, you want to focus on programming, whatever, the work you have to do in the notebook piles up, so you get lazy and your notebook gets sloppy and ugly, and no one wants to read a sloppy, ugly, ignored disappointment of a notebook. So, I hope this helped. The notebook is really important because the majority of the awards that are presented at tournaments or at league are judged awards, meaning you have to submit a good notebook to have a chance. These awards include excellence, design, innovate, think, amaze, build, create, judges. So while this was just a basic overview of how to make a great notebook, I hope it was helpful. Please let me know if going over the judges' notebook rubric and how to address all of their topics is something that you guys would like to see, because I would be more than happy to make a video on that. If you did find this video useful, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. Let me know what else you guys would like me to cover, and I will see you all next time. Bye!